Well, hello and welcome back. This is Terry, and I'm doing this video for one of my viewers who wanted me to point out my eburnums, and because I had mentioned in an earlier video that I had several varieties or variations. So here is one right here, which is the one that was in question, which is eburnum, Angraecum eburnum, xerophyllum, and you can see the growth habit of that. This one happens to like it more on the drier side. It does like it wet during the rainy season, of course, it can't help it, but it wants to dry off more so than the rest of the Angraecoids. So, and then over here, tucked in, this one, you remember, I've got this beginning of summer and of winter from Norman's, and this is a big, eburnums do get big, but I believe that xerophyllum, while it's more vining type, it stays more compact, if that makes sense. But this is Comorens, eburnum variety Comorens. So this is one from the Comoros Islands, as opposed to Madagascar, which is eburnum, the species. Okay, and down here is another variety, which is Germaniana, and all of these, I believe, are supposedly smaller growing than eburnum, but I don't think Germaniana is. It might be, and I forgot one as I am talking now. After the video, forgot to include Longa calcar, but that's okay. I am doing this video on the behalf of one of my viewers, and also answering another question about the status of some of my other Angraecoids and giving a cross of hybrids. So, and showing the parentage. So, we're going back over here where the xerophyllum was, and down here is another species, which is compactum. I pointed out earlier this week that there's a little nubbin down there, lots of roots, but the nubbin indicating that there's possibly going to be an inflorescence. And as I what am I saying? Yeah, zoom in, I can see those little mealy bugs there that have to be taken care of, but I will take care of that. So, and here's my Eranthes species. Here is Caudata, and then this one is Arachnidas, which they're both doing really well. And over here, hanging up, I have my Ramosa, big giant species that I just got recently. You know, you've seen the video, bucket list. All of these are Ramosa as a species, and it is more greenish color. And I have one down there as well that is not in spike, although it's bloom size now, and they are both giving me a new leaf at the top. But this plant, when I got it, it came in spike. I think this one, yeah, both of these, no, this one came in two spikes, and then I ripped it off, moving it here. But the spike, one spike, has continued to push on, and you can see there's one flower bud there. And as I've stated before, these flower spikes in inflorescence, as long as they remain green, they are capable of putting up kikis or blooms, and these look like blooms. So there's three right there, and there's another one down there at the tip, fat, and you see how pendant and long, and so I cannot wait to see those green chartreuse, mostly hanging flowers that look like little ghosts, little green goblins. But today I was looking, because I came out here after it has been watering, and lo and behold, it put off another spike, and looks like there's a flower bud at the end. So, hallelujah. These orchids are really thriving here in their new space. And honestly, they aren't taking as long as previously to acclimate. Now, this is my species Magdaleni, which is the queen. And these bloom in around this time, late spring into the summer. Pretty reliable, but this one needs to maybe grow up. It's probably about a year or two from bloom size. And these are pretty easy to bloom. They're very fragrant during the day and night, which makes them extra special, but it is the queen. And next to it is my Joyce Stewart, which is putting up some nice new growths. Just finished blooming. And behind there are two of my Angraecums. So I am very happy that they are all seemingly doing well. So, and while I'm over here, there's my Victoria Now Euryanthe that I hardly ever show. And it gets deep shade. And I'm trying to find the tag on camera. There we go. Urachone, Victoria Now. And it did give me a lot of nice growths during the winter, and it continues to. And its roots, these plants typically bloom from the bottom, the base of the plant. Very small, tiny flowers or spikes. And this is one that I don't talk about much, that is often hidden behind in the shade, but this is the cross Aerotum spiculata, and it isn't doing much. I think it might be putting up a new root, but that's about it. But it is still kicking, so I can't complain. And these all get deep shade with filtered light. And I'm just gonna want to show you some roots, because my roots, well, here's my pumilio that I'm showing you. One of the spikes blasted, unfortunately, but the other is still hanging in there. You see, that's the brown one that blasted. So, but I want to show you these roots on my Scotianum that are so beautiful and nice, and they're important when you can visually see signs of life and growth. And growth means that the plants are happy. And when you see those green root tips that weren't there at the beginning of summer, then you know that it is in a good spot. And these green root tips are still there. They have not burned off yet, if they will, but look at them. They're all on the bounce. It's just amazing. And I just wanted to share that with you because it is such a positive sign. That's my Angraecum Scotianum, which is a species as well from Madagascar. And no, actually there might be two versions of Scotianum, I think. One from Comoros along with Leonis, the same thing. But anywho, I am really pleased with my Scotianum. One of my favorites, non-resuppinate flower with a very long spur. One half of a cross that I really want, but hopefully this fulfilled my request for a viewer, and I'll just show you a few more while I'm here. A few more Angraecoids that are tucked in here. This is my Linford White Beauty, I believe. This is my Linford White Beauty, which is a cross of the king and the queen. And it is still a small seedling. Yeah, this particular cross will have to be big as, I suppose, if you remember the size of my Veichi at the greenhouse. But this is my Sesquipedale, which is still a baby, still growing up. But that's the king, and this is the queen, Magdaleni. And both of those make up Linford White Beauty. And then I have my compactum crossed with Magdaleni. No, crossed with Scottianum. Yes, Magdaleni and Scottianum. Compactum and Scottianum, I'm sorry. That produces Joyce Stewart. And this is Angraecum grandolina, which is Magdalena times Aranthes grandiflora, which is right here. And it is suffering from crown rot, recovering, but look at the roots. You can see them. Has been repotted, not within the year, probably a year ago, but the roots are there. So it will be fine, but that is the other species. But, so yeah, those are my Angraecoids and the ones that were requested. And other than that, folks, I don't have much else going on. So